they gotta show us that that wasn't a one and done, right? It turns out that wasn't one and done. It wasn't a one and done. I'm looking at but yeah, the tail hold, you don't see that often every day. And the trap plays with the tail hold, oh, you know, they had one prepared on the defense, they had one prepared for the attack. It just looked great.
It looked very good. It did look strong. I can't deny that. It's going to be a statement if they win this Ascent, and Heretics have their back to the wall right here, and it's going to be interesting to see how Heretics deal with the pressure of playoffs.
I think BBL also have a lot of pressure on them as well, though, because I think if you're looking at them, if they do want to win this series today, they have to win Ascent. Because when we do get to Haven, that is when it gets really difficult for them. Because if Heretics do manage to win this one, not only do they have the momentum going into that last map, but it's a map that they've been dominant on all year.
Yeah, someone once famous, he said if you win your opponent's map pick, you're more likely to win the match. But here for Heretics, they have to win. And if they do manage to force a map 3, Hazard and Cairo, they have a great chance of locking in champs.
A great champs indeed. In fact, you'd think if they won map 3, they would be going to champions after all. And that's what they'll be hoping, but it's a long road up until that point, of course. I think this map decides a lot of things in my mind, whether BBL have fully overcome the skeletons in their closet, this team Heretics, which they've been yet to beat so far this year in VCT, or whether they go down into that third and final map, which will be even more grueling, I'm sure, than what we have up ahead here.
Yeah, I mean, one map away from basically securing your spot in the top 4, but it is 2 of the best maps that Heretics have in their pool. Triple Initiator, a comp built to beat Fnatic, but can it go on to beat Heretics as well? So we start off in B main with a quick pop and Benji under pressure.
So, such a strong sight for Heretics. BBL immediately sending it towards this side of the map, though. Rian's to follow things up. He's on the other side of the door here. Sheriff in hand. Missed shots. Uncharacteristic. BBL trampling the players on site. Quick punish, but Rian's keeps them in it.
Yeah, and Spike down now, and there's so many bodies here for Heretics to work with.
BBL in post, you expect them to fight on the front foot, and here they have to. Do a quick sidestep from stairs, dodging the paranoia, and it's all on Boot. 2 versus 1, his position revealed, and BBL yet to miss a beat. Another pistol round, 3 for 3 this series now.
And that's a great stat to be having, and I can't believe I have to bring this up again, but the anti-ecos is where we really put BBL under a microscope. And it's the fact that even when they go down, they're able to fight back, right? BBL looking to upset Heretics retake, and very well played.
The only form of resistance there, Rien's hitting monster form before champs, which is exactly what Heretics would want. He is 9-0 against Turkish teams in VCT, by the way. Has never lost to either BBL or FUT. Coming out of the Challengers League from 2023. Another fun stat for you, Nilzinho. It's been over a year since he lost to a Scottish coach, if we're talking
really?
Regional matchups. The last time, Masters Madrid against Drew Spark, of course, on set. But stats aside, Heretics are damn good here, and they do have bodies towards B if you're baiting the potential for an anti-eco.
Yeah, I mean, there is always that opportunity. There's a lot of bullets being fired through. It's like walking on glass. And Heretics are missing so many shots. And yeah, this is not like them at all.
Planted. Sure, the only weapon there was Mini Boot. The Marshall in his hands, I should say. Yeah. And so many players drop low on BBL side. They'll do a good job getting these out of the round. And I tell you what, it's flawless. I find that surprising, to be fair, with the amount of damage done.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, the fact that BBL get all 5 through, they can count their lucky chickens, but well played nonetheless. Makes the bonus round much more interesting now, as BBL basically are flush with rifles. Sure, they're not all Phantoms or Vandals, a couple of Bulldogs in the mix, but they'll take it against but against a team Heretics that aren't flush themselves.
Yeah, an in-zone flawless, meaning that only rebuy is on the armor, and another quick V hit, still going for this.
Yeah, they're really taking Heretics off guard here. And they are so unsettled, Levin, all the way on stairs, still not found. And the trade's looking so good, but Boo comes out to rescue the round for Heretics.
I can't believe what I'm seeing, but Heretics do a good job in the end of shutting down BBL, deciding if it isn't broke, no problem in trying to fix something. Using all of this initiation power that we have, and something that needs to be consistently addressed in differences of these compositions is Yampi's KO, and how good those knife placements had been.
That's flash!
If he can take offline Benji's setups, then the possibility of these quick executions is always a threat. And it's back to A this time.
Back to A. This is a site that they look to manipulate Fnatic with on the attack, but Heretics much more savvy and able to stop the push straight away.
Now we get this different look from Heretics in terms of how they want to fight B main. It's the deep cam from Benji. Doesn't look like he's gone for the one-way lineup, which he has. It's the more regressed version of it. Like back from Heretics, but it's onto BBL's doorstep. They kept the space and they hold on to it.
And now it's just Boo all alone, and he's been found. Has 2 TPs, sure, but he has no line of sight to make that attempt. BBL open up A.
Benji taking his traps, packing up his stuff, and getting ready to sit in Boathouse for the next 45 seconds. It's a really well-called round from BBL in the sense that they play around with that conditioning, the tape that we've seen from this version of the triple initiator which they played previously. The last time these teams faced on Ascent, it was the Fnatic comp that they'd been running previously that we saw from BBL.
And the fact that they have 2 comps that have both won and had a good look, it is a real problem for coaches, right? Because you then begin to think, right, well, was that triple initiator just shown to upset Fnatic and what they've shown? Or is there a possibility that they could come out with the chamber, the double Senti composition that Fnatic like to run as well? So it's a conundrum which Neil and Weber would have thought about.
Also an area where they have an advantage though. I don't think we can ignore the fact that Heretics do have much more time to prepare coming into this game than the last time they went against each other at the beginning of the group stage. That was a concern for me for BBL, but we know how much momentum can play a factor in Valorant. We've seen it at the international events. We're perhaps seeing it now with this run from them at the very least. To find out if that checks out the same for GX later on. But as it stands, BBL into another gun round. A couple of residuals from Heretics. But the big difference there was their aggression met by BBL. This time it doesn't look as if they're going to throw caution to the wind and discard any guns early.
Onto the site they go, and Mini Poo, he's first out. So with that, allows the spike to go down as easy as possible. Those 2 rifles still up and available for Team Heretics with 2 players on a full belt of utility.
BBL won't want to overstay their welcome, but they do play expansive Valorant.
They do, and they've got Sociable so deep in towards B main just in case, but Re-End makes the first impact on towards the BBL numbers. It's Profit that goes.
Still fighting this BBL. Oh, even invested on the round.
Yeah, need to be careful. As, well, Team Heretics close to the site, but Sociable still not identified. Finally is, and both remaining players have a gun to work with. Oh, Yampi can't quite get onto the second, and Mr. Reliable shows up once again. That'll be the second round for Heretics.
And such a big round for Heretics to win, where they were massively unfavored, but BBL's push is their undoing, I feel, in terms of what the setup looked like. Sure, you get all of that control, but just the reveals again, the utility fantastic to counteract this push that we saw from both Magnum and Levin. And as things start to fall apart...
Nice! Wait, do we have time?
There is no second layer. And yeah, no, you're right, Benji. Don't worry, mate. It is 2 rounds to 3.
Well, there's also the possibility of using the KO ultimate, and that's why you're seeing there's that one Cypher trap on B with Benji playing really far back, not wanting to get caught out by the null command.
Not seen this too often. It's got a trap on both sides of the map and playing from spawn.
Protect the president.
Wanting to get caught at all, but as expected, Yampi rips the ult and BBL feigning the possibility of A before they go through the middle of the map and quick trade.
11 to get out of market and both players towards the spawn side. That's Benji and Rien's.
Very similar situation to what we saw in the previous round. The difference being this time, Woot is flanking from main. And the aggressive control held by Yampi is towards market instead. He has now been cut from position. Profek in the meantime trying to disrupt, but caught by Woot. And now there are further problems for BBL.
There's still an ultimate to be used and it's been ripped straight away.
Going for the fight, in towards spawn, out into the cage, Levin let loose. Benji dropped and Woot is low. From main, he must hold up his end of the bargain. Yampi still the wedge between the lines of offense as the attack continues its push up against Woot. He will be taken down and escorted out of the round in the end. BBL make good of the situation despite the setbacks.
Yeah, maintain the 2-round lead as well, or at least retain it. And Heretics, the economy for both sides, just a little bit worrying. You always need to keep note of it. Ultimate's being used, and now ultimate advantage towards Heretics here in the next coming rounds.
Nice, Elias! Insane. Insane,
From the
Elias.
preparation that Heretics would have had coming into this as well. They know that BBL did like those direct executions with the ult, and you kind of saw it there. They played around with the idea. Let's fake it a bit towards A before we then actually repath into B. And to give you all a reminder of what the stakes are in terms of championship points, Heretics sat just underneath Fnatic. A win for them today will confirm their attendance in Paris. Liquid be more of the same later on, but for BBL, a little bit further adrift, tied with Vitality, who wait in the lower bracket. So, of course, that makes this one even more important because you don't want to have to face up against your main opponents in this chase towards the business end. This is the best opportunity that they will get to secure themselves a placement.
Yeah, 100%. And stat on your screen, BBL the highest 5v4 win rate of VCT EMEA, winning 81% of the 5v4s. And the thing that's interesting about me, the Duelist Levin has also got the highest first kill per round percentage, right? So, I mean, it's a perfect combination.
It's a hefty toll that you can pay with Levin sometimes. The desk addressed it though. The Jet is where he looks best, and with 3 initiators at his back, he is the locomotive which powers this train of players right now. All the way up the guts through market. Miniboo, double wallbang, will remove him from the situation, and the spike is still being ferried over towards the B site. But with Magnum in the meantime finding a kill, we are held at a pause for just a moment. Only Benji here on B now. BBL feeling a little more comfortable to play chase.
Yeah, but we know his sheriff's good. We've seen an ace from it before.
An ace against BBL, no less, but that was on Sunset, and that was a different day, a different story. BBL building up this early lead with little issue against the Ecos. That was where they struggled on Icebox. Who's got to pull a worldie out of nowhere to stop the same happening here.
Yeah, with a Marshall as well. You have to take a moment to get ready for the next shot. And BBL giving nothing away to the captain of Heretics.
Absolutely not. Nice first shot from Boo. It's just a consolation. Magnum once again finding himself in the feed. The amount of rounds we've seen this guy be able to generate from his group stage performance, settling into the squad, filling the shoes of Vac from kickoff, and this point onwards, it's been a real sight to behold. But now crunch time for Heretics. The next round is the rifle.
Is, like, we just don't deserve to win. Like, there's not really much else to it.
And you can only echo Weber's thoughts there, because these kinds of mistakes will not be left unpunished.
Come back to that comment in a second, because right now BBL are starting the run once again. Direct route 1 into the site, and Heretics cannot live on the sites, not at all. The utility that they're using It's not allowing any safe spaces, but at least Boo gets one back onto 11.
A team which looked so comfortable playing retake against GX, but BBL a different beast entirely. Quick incision. Yampy's still hanging around. And here is Miniboo, the statement of intent.
Yeah, and the ultimate. Oh, the fake actually working out, blinding one of the players, and Heretics overpowering the site, leaving Yampy's luck potentially without any value. And that's exactly the case. The set retake from Heretics works.
Not willing to completely concede the site control, but holding on to enough of it to make that retake a feasibility, and then drawing on some of their strengths again.
Yeah, and I mean, I think as well, I just wanted to touch on what Weber was saying, right? If we continue on like this, we don't deserve to win. And I mean, this is something that he was talking about, preparation after the last game they played in group stage. We prepare to lose every game, but all hope for the best, right? And that's because they're humble. The players know exactly what type of opponent they could potentially be going up against, especially against a team like BBL.
The kind of humbling that you only get by making it to multiple international finals and falling short. I hate to say it, but that is the reality. These Heretics players have molded, bonded, stronger together through the tough times to finally start to see a sprinkle of success this year. And yeah, that execution from BBL in the previous round, though, still a warning. You saw on the replay with the Nightfall how instantly effective those salvos can be from Sociable. But here, Levin removed first. Yampy's closed the gap.
Out of shot, taking the players off guard. Wow! You know just how good he is, and how good Heretics can be once they play off one another. BBL, their old tricks are starting not to work. They're becoming ineffective, and Heretics know exactly how to deal with them now.
Heretics going through the gears, getting back into the series. This is almost what you expected. I think seeing Icebox in the veto, you wondered how much could they possibly have improved in the time that they spent on it. Any result there would be a positive, and kind of now moving into Ascent, into Haven. The drop-off caught us off guard at the start, but the rounds are starting to be collected. This was the half invest from BBL. But at a certain point, you start to get concerned, because this is also their attack side, and one of the real benefits to having so much power, so much utility to just send at these sites. Brienne's on cleanup duty, and we are within one.
Yeah, I guess I agree to some extent, right? I understand the point you're coming from, but there is equal strength in the defense side as well, in terms of like how you're able to retake the utility of air.
And even this, the flash from Miniboo to set up Wu.
Round by round.
We've perhaps not seen so much of that up until this point in the map, but we know it's there. The duo of them both. It's Woot to be set up in B main to start here, but all 5 players from BBL accounted for on A.
Typical BBL group up in the hit.
And all that means is early info for Heretics. They have a complete monopoly on that left-hand side, and with Boo finding the opening pick, it's only going to increase their chances here.
Yeah, and it could also increase the pace of BBL as they look to hit in towards A. 11 caught out by a trap, and there's bodies here for Heretics when they want to retake. Ultimate used straight away, the Hunter's Fury, and it's even got value.
Oh, second tag onto 11's huge.
That is massive. Spike going down now though, and that could be the go button press for Heretics. But no, wait a second, they're waiting to see what Woot gets.
And waiting to see what exactly it is BBL are going to do, because you expect them to go knocking, and here they are at the door.
Yeah, that they are. Door broken, ready to go. Bodies lying in wait. Crosshairs ready. Woot, though, gets caught off guard. In towards the site. It leaves Sociable. Sure, he has the ultimate available, but he won't be able to use it. It will be all equal after that.
This is now where the stylistic matchup starts to become worrying for BBL, if they're so easily able to attain control of the site when Heretics give us that forfeiture, because their retakes have looked brilliant. And we've seen it all stage long. Slight missees here from Magnum. I'm not sure that its interference would have made the most of difference, because we are about to see a timeout from BBL for good reason, a reconsideration of the game plan perhaps, an adjustment of the goalposts as they head into a lower bye. Only a couple of rounds left to make good of this half now.
Yeah, I'm wondering as well, like, when we think of BBL and how they're able to default, how that would look, but let's have a look at Team Heretics here and the historical placements as well.
Yeah, the big talking point, and the desk addressed it to, was the difference between a group stage for Heretics and a playoff stage, and what that win percentage looks like. For this year, it's very straightforward, 100% throughout groups. But into the playoffs is where you see that additional stress, additional pressure. For many, a match against BBL on the surface wouldn't seem like a big deal, but we know how they've completely reinvented themselves this year. And for Heretics, at the end of the gauntlet, they want to lift the VCT EMEA trophy. If anything is to give you that little bit of extra confidence heading directly into champs with momentum at your backs, that would be it.
Yeah, I mean, it's something that's eluded them for the longest time, as well as a VCT international trophy. Yet to achieve it.
And, you even think all the way back to kick-off last year. Yeah. Magnum, the one to deny them that first chip potentially. So look, what a different world we could be living in if that one hadn't gone KC's way. But timeout concluded, BBL back in A main. Not expanding upon those ambitions initially.
Yeah, a lot slower as well from BBL on this eco round. A couple of stingers in the mix, but I think the big thing is the fact that Sociable does have that Armageddon, right? I mean, it seems like using an ult on an eco round shouldn't be advisable, but you never know the position that BBL can find themselves in. And that's a big space-taking ultimate, potentially one that could buy a pick or two.
It's a conversation that we had with BBL playing against Liquid for the first time, their debut of this composition, as Levin is trying to play the fake towards B. That one goes out, fizzles away, and Benji collects the info on the A push.
Yeah, and that's the harsh point about this, the fact that Levin is used as a potential red herring. Instead though, BBL have found an avenue that Yampy could potentially work with through short.
Problem is, there's no players on site, and with BBL now moving away from this one, time continues to dwindle. Yampy actually just asking for the regroup through tree, but if he goes down early, the whole thing falls. The veil, the illusion, has swiftly been removed.
As professional from Heretics, then that's two bodies late to the party, and everybody just looking towards the short push out, where Boo will be the one to knock them down. 6-5, the scoreline. Heretics take the lead.
And carrying on from what I was saying about that Liquid game, when you have so many tools, so many assets at your disposal, you have to be sparing in how you choose to use them. We'd seen them in a round like this before with Stingers. Invest in Nightfall, for example. Invest in Armageddon and try to make something happen when it didn't work. There's been a lesson to learn from the second stage so far. It's playing to those win conditions. And now, with a couple of ults back up, you can see BBL getting ready to take the A control again. More passive from Heretics this time.
Miniboo was thinking about it, already used one of his flashes, but remember, it's BBL with the advantage in terms of the ultis as well, as they've got 3 up and available. One of those being the KO ultimate, which obviously could take down the whole of the Cypher setup of Benji.
BBL haven't really interacted with too much of that. He's towards B to kick things off. This setup from Heretics, a strong one. The op from Woot and Miniboo here as well would have wanted to teleport out, but now he finds himself entrenched and dice as the null command is coming in. The suppression denying, up to their knees in utility, but still Heretics thriving. BBL finally respond through the rafters. It breaks for a 3-on-3.
Yeah, but Heretics still taking their time with coming back into this one. They want everybody to be ready to go, and it's short where they look first.
Deep drone used, Sociable down, so no more ults for them to fall back on here, BBL. The knife was the heads up in towards short, but there's nobody looking in that direction from BBL right now. The door's been broken and still Magnum facing the wrong way. Yampy remaining resolute towards Gen, but where's their... Whoa! He steps out of the shadows, draws 3 kills and the blades to boot. The half concludes, even yet again.
You ask where he is and he will announce himself. You know exactly how good Levin can be.
a half that goes back and forth, but it's still a map that always favours Heretics. Let's see if they've got what it takes to finish out this map for BBL.
Your body knows. A sense of victory. Seized when mind, movement, and gear ignite as one. Now, step into your zone. Designed to win.
And looking towards that second half, Heretics are going to have to pull on some of their best, right? And here's two right here, Rien's and Wook. Rien's the most valuable player from the group stage, and Wook tied second best in terms of most valuable, and you can see it in the statistics as well. I said earlier, Rien's hasn't lost to a Turkish team, and he hopes that's not going to be changing today. For Wook, often the secondary duelist when given the opportunity, but on the Jet here, he gets a chance to shine massively, and you've already seen that between both him and Miniboo. Wondering if it then takes that next step up heading into the second half. Looking at the score sheets, just checking in very quickly. Levin doing what he has been asked of against Heretics. Big talking point. The face of their Turkish resistance. And on the pistol, immediately finding mid.
Heretics at the same time look to and towards A, but that knife was enough to delay. So was the smoke, so find themselves at an impasse in the round.
Yep.
Heretics at the same time, they decide, hey, right, we're gonna deposit a couple players here and look to go and re-clear mid.
Maybe the one at the front of this line. 3 players on either side of this. BBL with the investment of Util, but Benji plays in front. 2 quick headshots. Magnum and Levin needing more of the same and getting it done to a certain extent. Still Sociable close by. They know of this Heretics. The reload a risk, but a little bit of bait perhaps. Still no plant.
The discipline from Sociable is unbelievable though.
He's biding his time, looking for an opportunity to find a kill here, and Heretics will be thinking much the same. They're waiting for this push to come in, but blindsided by it, Sociable strikes. Magnum trying to creep out of trouble and will just about get away.
But look at the time, we're 20 seconds left, having to use the paranoia to get a safe space, which will work out for the utility to come straight back in as used.
Miniboo still one more flash to potentially set up his brother. Between the two of them, so much work to still be done. Magnum's got the one, and Miniboo is down to 5 HP. His contribution so far in this map overshadowed by BBL and maybe by Sociable here. Every single pistol so far going to the black and gold. Sociable stepping up, and even from a deficit, BBL can take it home.
Yeah, they regain the lead, BBL. Sure, you could argue it should have been a lot more. But Benji opens up the round brilliantly between Magnum and Sociable to bring this back to a working possibility. They do so well.
Oh my god.
Not maybe the hesitation, but lack of direction there from Heretics when they get to the 3v3. Wu was waiting for the peak. He knew Sociable was going to turn up at some point, but like I say, direction. Hoping for a kill which never came, and his position now just pistols. BBL won an anti-eco previously. You would have thought. Did they do it again?
Nah, there's no possibility. BBL know the problems that they were having with their anti-ecos, and they've shored up for the past few times that they've had to play it.
If you were really, wishing for the best for Heretics, you'd be thinking about Benji and his Sheriff perhaps, and also that was a nice set piece opening from Miniboo, and those jokes are starting to feel a little bit too personal now as BBL are dropping one at a time. It's another 3v2, a Heretics advantage on the A side. They waste no time getting the spike down.
That set piece is something that Heretics have done time and time again. Bodies are low here. It's Rien's Bulldog that I'll worry about the most.
Set up. Sociable maybe thinking about going around it. No step given. Has the stun which works through walls.
That he does, and looks to play in Levin here.
Oh, Levin set up. Stun on the Gen player. Levin sort of overlooked. He's still beneath him, and all of a sudden, there you have it. Sociable cleans up. I thought he was already dead, but it took a little too long. For BBL in the end, though, it is the anti-eco, but at what cost?
Yeah, I mean, they lose everything, right? And you look at the players that what they are. I mean, everybody bought up, so it will have to just be. It will just have to be the single Bulldog heading in towards the next one. Again, though, like as I was saying, the fact that Sociable's left scratching his head as to where one of the players is. That set piece has been done time and time again. I just want to highlight that in terms of the preparation for this map and how the BBL have missed it.
It's strange. Powell getting closer and closer to what would be a historic win for him, and yet he gets redder and redder in the face. Heretics with rifles. I mean, the buy has almost completely flipped from the previous round, and you're seeing BBL dip their toes towards mid or just feel out this position. Miniboo, they'll be looking to try and uproot, and they have done so, but it is at the cost of utility.
No charges left.
A lot of which is regenerative in this composition, but one of the differences from the last time they played it is the salvos. Sociable will not be getting those back.
Cage triggered.
No, he will not, and thank God he doesn't, to be honest. Still though, time ticking away, and Heretics starting to finally make inroads towards mid and where they want to go. In terms of where that spike's going, another question entirely. It could be through A short.
Yeah, it's looking like A. Late arrival from Boo in main. But the issue is that BBL can bunker up on these sites, and you're seeing the rotation from Sociable.
You are.
Still too late, perhaps. We'll have to find out.
I've seen this before in terms of BBL being able to make these equal rounds get close and make Heretics uncomfortable. Whoop. Lovely flick on towards Levin on dice, but still trying to roll the dice of BBL. And unfortunately, Hell cleared out. So that spike will go down without any issue.
Spike planted.
Heretics. Man advantage. A site post plant. Seen it a few times already. But this one, the best chance that they've had yet. In terms of that util for BBL, a little bit left in the reserves.
There.
Yeah, but it's a key phrase that you used there, a little bit, right? Not a lot.
Whoa! No way! No way.
Magnum's done it, brought it into the realms of possibility. It's just his Sheriff that's done it alone, but Miniboo bats it away, tries to get an angle on towards the Euro and finds it.
Position
it's
of
just
Boo.
up against Boo. That paranoia will hit onto the spike. Magnum goes. What was that?
The best effort that Magnum could possibly have made, still not quite enough. Boo is there at the end of the day as you expect him to be, nothing getting past. But I said it was the best opportunity they had. If that's what it's gonna take to get one gun through, I'm speechless. This collateral is a slap in the face.
Wow.
Wow, indeed.
The paranoia's moving so slowly. Why does Magnum not just get off the spike? And
no, I think he has to get half there. He's sort of the timing of it all.
Yeah, I guess.
Question it as much as you like. We're right back in the saddle, and for Heretics, it's Miniboo's ult this time, weaving through heaven, revealing Profek.
There it is, but he's jumped onto the site, not been found. Yampy somehow gets Woot, and it's a Nightfall straight back in.
Cheeky positioning from Profek, does bail from the situation in the end. even odds or skewed in BBL's favor if you look at the track record up until now.
This is still a big swing round, and Sociable somehow found a position in which to work with. The Paranoia was good, but it still allowed Minibrew to find 4, and just one more for an ace. A classic in which he tries to attempt it, and well, it'll be Benji to finish out the round. We end out at 8-8, but this is just chaotic.
It is. This massively favors Heretics, though, not just because they're winning the rounds, but the context in which they're being won. BBL left with no money after this one. Prophet second-guessing the potential of a player there, and without him committing to clearing Miniboo,
yeah,
it's the mistake which they are made to rue at the end. And I genuinely, every time I see a coach cam, you would think their team had lost, but it's the other way around because the Valorant we're seeing is choice at best.
Yeah, it's definitely.
Oh, okay.
And that's from the blades out.
Just another reason to get excited.
The spike.
Yeah. If you're tuned in right now, no reason to press pause on an eco round because anything is possible, and BBL are throwing ults at this. They're throwing Levin and a flash in hand. It's a perfect setup, but he's missed every damn shot.
Couldn't have asked for anything better, but with that being said, Yampi's managed to rescue a rifle, a phantom. There is some chip here. 2 players brought down to 15. Look at Magnum Sheriff.
He's going to need another collat, though.
Still wouldn't doubt him to get it.
And even to that end, he's caught the better side of the timing here. Walking up cat.
Yeah, but there's
going to be top mid ready for Heretics. Here's the players moving. That's the rotation. BBL in a strong position here, despite the weapons.
There was pings from the attack side towards this position, though, and I think Heretics are aware.
Oh, that's the step from Magnum, but nobody's turned their head. Still no response. Yampi no knife yet. He's just going to go ahead and break the trap, but they're ready for them on site, ready to receive BBL.
Yeah, that they are, but remember, with Heretics popping out, it's the time that's the big issue. Oh! They don't have time to clear these corners! And that will allow BBL a thrifty round!
A pay safe card, thrifty, but it's the rifle in the hands of Yampi that's won it for them. Recollected, a bit of return on interest from this Sheriff here, setting up Levin. And honestly, should have had a little bit more with that next play into tiles. So well set up though. Magnum doesn't overplay his hand, no overextension, and BBL back in front and with a huge opportunity to make it 10.
I think we need to have a discussion about Yampi's KO, by the way, because his flashes, his utility has been so good. BBL play on the front foot this time.
Get out of my way.
Don't get any value from it, unlike the last.
That's been the biggest difference in the composition for me. The knife timings as well, and with the null command and the Armageddon here, BBL have all the right tools for a retake. Inclined. It's the Teho and the KO towards B for now. And just with the amount of utility they have, this stockpile, constant information game, on which they're playing into market, but as they head out, resistance from Heretics, and Hunter's Furion too.
Yeah, Sociable was thinking about the Armageddon, but decides against it. This is still not out the realms. The Heretics could win it. The cam just misses out on Magnum though.
Disgusting position. I don't know if he popped up on the radar, but Magnum's still getting one, and now Panic Station. Sociable is forced to invest his ult. It has cut off the lifeline. The spike in the hands of Rians as time continues to tick on down. Players on the site, Levin elsewhere, 2 versus 4 effect.
Yeah, but look at Sociable's timing, brilliant. But it's up to Prophet to really hold things down. He's the one that's full of health. And the spike down on the ground, it's looking like this will be BBL to get out of the woods. They got worried, but they navigated tricky waters.
They did. And they've now reached double digits, so starting to close in on the map. More problems for Heretics. This was a huge opportunity. He does spot Magnum on the cam there, but still even making for a trade. And ultimately, the bigger picture here for Heretics has to be the fact that, Ascent, their map pick on the attack. Things not quite coming together for them in instances. And out of this rifle round, you're not going to get too many more chances to deny BBL.
And this is the big point, right? This is probably BBL's best chance, right, since the last series, when you thought of Ascent, and with them being so far ahead.
This is the dreaded timeline for BBL in years gone by with different iterations of the roster. Things had ended differently, of course, but in 2025, it's one-way traffic. Heretics, all 3 meetings have been theirs up until this point. But as we draw those parallels between a team with an injection of Turkish talent that's now starting to spearhead their way towards an international event, if BBL can win this one, it counts for twice as much. The potential that they reach 12 before Heretics, it almost live and die on round number 19.
Remember the set piece in B main that we saw before? It looks like this could be the same thing right now, but instead of Magnum supporting Sociable, it looks like it will be Prophet with the paranoia. Utility sent forward, and the bodies as well. Prophet and Sociable are completely trying to assault in towards this attack, but both players are stuck in the corner, and it'll be Sociable and Prophet found.
Counter flash from Yampi wins one more fight, but his utility belt is now empty. He's the last player left on B.
Yeah, but look, the support's coming in. The reinforcements of Levin and Magnum. I'll deny the next push out.
They're still looking for a ball, still trying to fight this.
Yeah, they know that they want to.
They've run out of utility to go in with, though, and oh, Yampi! That's the spike that he's dropped. The rest of the players cut off.
Yeah, and the players have to fight back. Levin's there to win it! And BBL, with the sucker punch to Heretics, find 11.
Every single time you grit your teeth with BBL, they're down for a fight, down for a brawl. And best Heretics, even without the utility this time. Wave after wave, Yampi gets the timing down. It's so close. But with the spike dropped at where Boo once stood, Levin brings them up to the next level.
It's been a slow progress for BBL, and it seems as if it's the exact same thing, the exact same set play, and it's Magnum that's found Mini Boo instead, even though it was Wook caught in the utility.
Yampi's out in mid while we take a moment. Heretics have no respite, nowhere to go. And these fights from BBL, you would never think that they would take them, but just playing around with what we know to be possible seems to be the answer to send them on their way to finally get past Heretics and vanquish their demons.
Match point.
Oh look, they're desperate.
Match point for BBL in a matchup that they have never been able to win. This another level of aggression that they've found, this next gear that they've moved into. It seems like no one can live with them.
Let's go!
The evolution year long. Potentially concerned that they might fall away from the chasing pack on points without those international attendances. But they've done it in the one game that really mattered against the old god that they could never get past. For the best chance at punching their ticket, Heretics immediately meeting the round result with pace. It's a mid-play made.
Who's next?
All eyes on Levin again.
He's being found out, manages to escape, but there's a short push as well. He somehow found safety just for a moment. If you look towards short, the door closed. Woot and Benji locked out.
All focus here for BBL. They have numbers, and Heretics still not scaled to sight.
Yeah, and BBL know that there's players here. The Haunt doesn't reveal them, but the C's did. There's a scale through mid, but Heretics completely unlock the A site. It's Sociable to pick up against 4.
Heretics shoot in to at least arrive at the 9th round as you expected. Way behind schedule, but there are rough waters they need to traverse. Otherwise, a drop down to the lower bracket with Fnatic hanging about in there amongst other teams looking to push for their own qualification to Paris. We know that Heretics have really stepped up in the mental game, and this will be the next in a list of tests. 3 rounds now, the deficit.
Listen, 3 rounds, it can easily come back for Heretics. They made the same comeback, in fact, even bigger on Peril in the first matchup. These two played against each other and kickoff.
Last player standing.
Imagine how much that would harm BBL in the process. You have to think about the other side, the push and pull. They'll still have money beneath them, of course, but you saw Heretics changing up the game plan, moving away from the B main fight, which hadn't served them well, and the same for BBL. Slight mid-focus, Levin through the lens, but can't lock onto a target. So it's a stalemate to start off round 22.
Levin with his operator for the first time on this defensive side as well. Heretics
down.
once again, slow default.
Just taking their time to explore the map and bleed as much utility from BBL as possible. We've not really seen that engaged with all too much up until this point, and that has been the most deciding factor. Brute force their way into mid and doing a pretty decent job so far.
I think this is the other thing that Heretics are doing well, though, is not allowing BBL the chances, giving them any information to act upon, and Woot has actually found the entry onto Yampi on A main. So the Spike looking to head this way as well.
Still numbers here for BBL though, it's both the Op and the Odin.
The operator hold it down on towards A main, but the Odin gets the first onto Miniboot through short. Still though, Heretics need to wait a way through, and as you said, team time a big component here. And the utility somewhat hitting and allows a little safe space for the Spike to get down.
Nothing to get back in on though if you're BBL. Profex found a kill, but the utility won't be there. That's where Heretics have the jump, or at least they did.
Big Hunter's Fury to be ripped onto heaven, but it's not found any hits whatsoever. So, look at BBL. They're going to try different avenues.
Oh.
A TP onto top side, and oh! Prophet just couldn't quite get his gun out in time. A 2 versus 2 in which to try and work with. And Levin has a rifle in his hands. The time is really starting to tick away now, and a crossfire which both players can work with. And Rien's there to find his 4K.
Stepping up, their saviour once more. Rien's doing the job for Heretics. But this round, in my eyes, was won in the early stages by the attack. By the time we reached the 40-second mark, all 3 initiators have run out of their non-replenishable utility. And that really influences the outcome of the round. Because when it gets to the retake, when you want a reveal, when you want something to get players back in, it's Profek with the ult in the end that tries to make it happen. Any gun other than the Odin. And I think you'll find that he gets one there.
Yeah.
Now Heretics taking a page out of BBL's book. This is a pacey A-take.
It is, but is it an A-take that's really going to work, right? Because there's already early damage, and there's so many bodies here for BBL.
There is, and then back into the retake, you think of the tools, the weapons might not be there, but a bad worksman would blame them. Levin has exactly what he needs, blade in hand.
Oh, but he's caught by a trap and spammed out. Actually, it's the trap that's got the kill. And Heretics have dealt a blow to BBL's retake here.
Multiple times that we've seen this series decided by a factor of 2 rounds or less. That impossible, of course, but I think you get the idea. Incredibly close between the two, and a kick in the teeth for BBL. If they were to drop here, I mean, of course, this is not the round that you're expecting them to do it in. It would be classic BBL fashion for them to win it in the 24th. OT out of the question just for now. And the one advantage that they will bring into this final stint of regulation is the Nightfall, and they're looking to invest it early.
Remember, Heretics have become aware of how BBL want to play through the mains and be aggressive. That's why we're seeing such a slow start to the rounds. Gambit-esque in the way that they're just waiting to see what their opponents do. Drawing on some of EMEA's finest. They're giving it their own spin. Heretics always having to stay ahead of the curve to stay relevant regionally. Reinventing themselves. This composition, the next in a long list of approaches that they've shown on Ascent, and one which has worked best. The partnership of Woot and Miniboot remaining steadfast towards top mid as they're beginning their approach, but you can see BBL not making early investments with the utility this time, sitting on as much as they possibly can as the clock continues to tick down. The bottom of the hourglass filling up with sand. Heretics not yet dead and buried. One last play towards B as Miniboo fakes the other side of the map. 30 seconds remaining. Time
30
ticking
seconds
low.
left.
A trap in B main for the spike to try and get through. And Levin just lying in wait. Drops the spike. BBL in prime opportunity to win out the series right now. And a chance to put themselves in the best possible spot to qualify to champs.
For BBL, their dream is all but reality waiting to happen. And like a clock turns its hand, they have conquered their past and rewritten their future. Very soon we may see a BBL gilded in the gold of champs. But until then, they have finally gone past the team that has stopped them every single time so far.
I mean, you think of all the problems, all the challenges that they've had to face throughout the year. The fact that they couldn't get their initial choice of Sentinel, they got their sub in Alvac, and then Magnum, the final piece in their crown of 5. Just missing out in Toronto, and now they wait for other matches, other results to find out their fate. But top 4 guaranteed for BBL.
Shake of the hands between the coaches, and Weber said it best. They were the second best team today on that stage. And 3 days out from their anniversary of heartbreak in Seoul, Team Heretics will have to wait a little longer before they get their shot at redemption. It's all about BBL today. Not only have they secured their spot in the top 4, but the top 3. And that will feel like enough for champs. It isn't going to just yet, but they are one step closer to a dream which felt unattainable at the start of the year. But I'll say it again, belief is everything, and they have not stopped believing.